attendance. Also,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for forming the groups. Yeah. So group 1 will be Erwina and Luffy Hakim, dealing with chapter 1, that is the learning and teaching. On the 28th of February, and then week 4, chapter 2, first language acquisition by Anicia Fonda, Francisca Inapasca. Week 5,
Yes, sir.
March 14th, chapter 3, age and acquisition, ESMA, and still blank. The ESMA dengan siapa ini?
With him, sir.
Hen, okay, and Farouk, okay. In the week 6, March 21st, human learning, Sadep and Sarfaras. Week 7, March 28th. Got that in. Styles and Strategies by Hazel and Stella. Okay, now look at the screen. So about second language learning. So you have a context for language learning, behaviorism, innativism, cognitive or developmental perspective, information processing, connectionism, and so on. Okay, now for the context for language learning. So here we have the differences between what a child and adult learning in a second language. So in terms of learner characteristics and learning conditions. Okay, and anyone has any experiences in teaching English for young learners or English for children? Anyone, please? The and Farouk or Sadaf, Erwina,
I actually have never worked as a teacher before.
yeah.
I have experience in translation, but when it comes to teaching, I
Oh,
don't have experience.
so you have never got experience in what teaching?
Teaching, yes.
Uh, Not yet. The never in.
Not yet, yes.
I see. Erwina or Hakim. So you have the what school? Okay. So if we look at the learner characteristics, meaning so children have their own characteristics. Also, adult learners or adults have also their own characteristics. So what can you see from the two types of learners from your own knowledge or from your general knowledge to save my energy in my voice and the differences between uh, young learners and adult learners. Anyone, please, from your general knowledge. So it's
Hello,
different from, yeah, sorry.
I don't have much experience in teaching, but I think young
Yeah,
learners are easier to be able to adapt to the learning process.
okay.
They are
If
faster
okay,
in learning.
no, from your observation whether you
Yes,
have younger sisters or brothers or from the environment, from your neighbors, meaning the way the child learns or acquires his or her first language.
faster. Yes,
So
yes,
from your daily observation, because in the family usually you have father and mother, and then you have also a sibling, meaning
yes.
except if you are the only child in the family. So let's say in my family, I have what? In my family, we have five. The two, two son and three, what? Three girls, meaning I am the fourth. Now only the fourth and the fifth, who's still alive. And yeah. Okay, Sarfaras or Mas Hakim, meaning from your knowledge observing the way the child acquires language, the characteristics of small children. How
Yes,
do
but
they differ? Yeah, okay. Yeah, what do you want to say, Hen?
uh, just just but that I noticed that children are easier to learn. They can speak more fluently. They can grasp the accent much more better than adult learners.
Okay,
Uh, they have the ability to grasp and understand better and faster. Not like adults.
yeah, just a
Ability to
moment.
adapt is way better than adults.
Okay, stop first. The
Yes, yes, for the
talk
adapt.
from the most, the I couldn't catch your voice.
Yes.
Okay, I suppose it's good answer. The one is it is easier to learn for the children, right? Yeah, easier to learn. Yeah. The second, uh, what they will get like the better action compared to the adult learners if they are learning, let's say, like the second language. And third, what is it?
But I tried to share it via chat. I
Yeah,
wrote my answer on chat.
yeah. Okay. Okay, my question is for everybody: why it is easier for the children to learn language?
But they don't have many responsibilities, just like adult learners, because adult learners are distracted with too much responsibilities. So, uh, like young learners, they are more focused on whatever they learn. They don't have a lot of responsibilities. They are focused on learning. They have passion because they didn't learn a lot. So when they get dedicated to learning something, they learn it much better, especially when they are smart kids or young
Yeah,
learners. I mean,
yeah,
for adults, we are different. We have a lot of responsibilities. We have work, home to tend to, and everything. Maybe we are burdened with many responsibilities. So even
yeah,
when we try to learn something, on our mind we have a lot of responsibilities, so we're kind of distracted, not like um, children or young learners. I mean, this is
yeah,
my observation. I don't know whether it's
yeah.
right or wrong. Just wanted to share it with you. Yes.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, thank you. I suppose it is a good observation for learning the children, the children learning language first or second language. So from your answers, and then let's say like, uh, let me tell you about the characteristics of young learners first. So you said it is easier to learn. Why? Because children have the good memories, sub memories. So once they hear, and then they could retain, and then what the after retaining in their brain, so and then they could store, and then you could what memorize words heard from the environment, yeah, from their sibling, from their parents. So, but the weakness of children is they couldn't focus longer compared to adult learners. Let's say perhaps they could focus only 10-15 minutes, and then they are easily attracted by other things. That is the weakness of the children. Also, the accent, I suppose, if you learn English during the childhood, so your accent will be much better compared to the adult learners. So let's say if I have a son or a child born in the states where I was studying, so my child would have a more appropriate accent, let's say like American English or British English compared to mine. Yeah. And then for adult learners, they could focus more than, let's say, like half an hour. That is why the design for one session. So let's say 45 minutes for one session. And then for adult learners, we have now 100 minutes or 90 minutes. Yeah. So for the young learners, they couldn't focus longer compared to. Any other comments about the also a child or children? They don't have yet like the what feeling of anxiety or being shy, or so that is why they don't feel guilty if they make any mistakes. But as time goes by, meaning they are growing elder, and then they will be aware of such mistake, and then uh, they are not what as brave as compare when they are still a child or during the childhood. So because of awareness of making mistakes, so that is why the children very outspoken. But when you grow up, and then you a bit someone can be, yeah, the outspoken, but some people perhaps a bit uh, withdraw from the, yeah, meaning they are not very talkative compare when they are children because of being aware about the environments. Okay, any other comment? So here upon the learner characteristics and learning conditions. So conditions here. Anyone would like to comment on the learning conditions?
No, sir.
Mas Hakim, what do you want to say?
Additional comment for me, sir. Please continue.
Louder, please.
It's no condition, additional condition.
No, sorry, what? Louder, please.
No additional comment, sir.
Oh, I see. Mbak Erwina, Sarfaras, Stella.
Uh, Under the learning conditions, I think it's how a child is from the word go when you're teaching them. Some of them have different capabilities in their understanding.
Yeah.
Some of them they are those who are low achievers. Others are just they're gifted very well.
Yeah.
Others have special conditions. So
Yeah.
that's what I think when it comes to learning conditions.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, the good answers, meaning the different facilities, also from the family background, the have and the have not. So if you are born from the rich family, so you will have more facilities. Also urban and non-urban, meaning if you are born in the urban areas, different from if you are born in the rural areas. So meaning that the school facilities environment are more supporting, the more supportive compare children born from the remote areas. So many conditions can affect the way the child learns language. Okay, here in the learner characteristics. So sorry for actually you could the table a bit some changes in the actually there should be like in the table in the boxes you have like minus and plus meaning that like knowledge of another language. So here for the L1 or in child informal, then adolescent formal, adult informal, there should be like check or like the what minus, meaning whether you have knowledge of another language. I suppose the children don't have such knowledge. Cognitive maturity, yeah. So when you are teaching, yeah, English for children, And when you are teaching English for adult learners, so you should use different, let's say, like the different approaches in terms of method. Yeah, the methods of approach should be different when you are teaching children and also when you are teaching adult learners. Okay, anyone teaching what kind of methods, what kind of approach when you are teaching English for young learners? Okay, Mas Hakim, or here as Jimin Sarfaras or Sarfaras? Stella, what do you want to say?
When teaching children, it's different as compared to adults. I teach high school students,
Yeah.
so I think it would be different because when it comes to children, you have to look for activities that suit them. But when you're teaching the older ones, you don't include so much activities. Again, also the time factor. You don't have the children don't teach them for a long time. And again, children are so curious. They like asking questions and all that. Don't say.
Okay, what approaches do you use when you are teaching English for children, let's say, or when you are teaching English for adults, for adult learners? What approaches will you use?
Approaches like the methods.
Yes.
Well, for children would be more of, it should be more of the student centered. It's them. Maybe question and answer. You cannot give a lecture to children. So,
Yeah, okay. On the right
yes.
track. The name, please. Similar to the research, in the research methods, or
Sorry?
so in the name of the approaches similar to doing research. So let's say when you are doing quantitative research, so you will use, let's say, like, what do you call the deductive approach? And then when you are doing qualitative, so going to the fit, and then you may use, let's say, like inductive approach. So similarly, when we are teaching English for young children, so we better use inductive approach, as you said. So for children, there should be a lot of practice or no lecture. Yeah. So why? Because the cognition from the children haven't grown, yeah, properly. The cognition hasn't developed for young children. That is why we use inductive approach, meaning we don't explain the rules. Yeah. So we just give a lot of practice. Yeah. The, let's say, like the memorization, repetition, and then so the rules will be seduced or will be concluded by the learners, the young learners. But when we are teaching adult learners, and then we can use deductive approach, meaning, so let's say in the research from general to specific. So from general meaning that we explain the rules first, followed by examples and then exercises. But for young learners, using inductive, so a lot of practice, and then the rules will be deduced by the learner himself. Let's say about using what simple present tense. So for the third person, so we use SES for the verb. I go, you go, but he goes, yeah. My mother goes, and so on. So from a lot of practices, and then the rules will be choose will be internalized by the children. That is the for the point number 2, yeah, cognitive maturity. Perhaps if you look at the files, the item on the table doesn't change or still. Now about meta-linguistic awareness. Anyone would like to comment on the? Okay, please check on the your gadget. What is meant by meta-linguistic awareness? Anyone having problem in your attendance? Hello? Any problem
Hello,
for your attendance?
No, sir.
no, Pa. We don't have
No,
any
sir.
problem.
Yeah.
Ba, ba, Assalamualaikum. Hello, ba.
Hello.
Actually, tried to Google the word kindergarten on the internet,
Yeah.
and then I found that the word kinder, I already know that it means children.
Yeah.
Dalam bahasa Germany, in
German. Yeah.
German, because the word kind means child, and
Child.
kinder means children.
Yeah.
So, and the word garden, but dalam bahasa German as well, it means garden. So
Yeah.
the word dates back to the 19th century, and it's mainly coming from German language. It means garden specialized for children. Like,
Yeah.
yes, garden of children.
Yeah.
Um,
Because the children is like it is kind of the what metaphor or
yes. Actually,
yeah,
this is a very
metaphor
nice simile.
meaning
They say that children are like flowers, very small ones, very
yeah,
tiny flowers. This is the word
yeah,
that's being used in the internet, and they need care. They need to be taken care of, just like flower or plant.
yeah, good, yeah, great,
Yes.
good job for yeah. So why is it called kindergarten? Meaning bunga kebun in our language, the garden flowers, right? Yeah, or yeah,
Uh,
flowers garden kebun bunga because children or a child is like a flower, meaning growing, yeah, and we should take care the flowers so that they could
should be
the
watered.
flower, yeah, and the
Yes.
flowers can grow well. That is the its name. Even in my country, yeah, so it is a private school, yeah. So we have a private school named Taman Siswa, meaning the yeah the garden for the students. Taman meaning garden or
Yes.
park, yeah. And then Siswa meaning students. So from kindergarten to elementary school, what secondary school, high school, and college. So they use the terms taman, meaning we have
Says
like Taman Indria, that is for
yes.
garden.
Garden.
Taman Muda, it is for elementary school. Taman Dewasa for secondary school. Taman Madya for high school, and then Taman Karya for vocational school. And then for college level, we say Taman Siswa. That is the the school or the campus is in Yogyakarta, my hometown. The established by one of the national figures, that is the Mbak Erwina or Mas Hakim,
Ki Hajar
who is
Dewantoro.
yeah,
Ki Hajar Dewantoro.
yeah, right, Ki Hajar Dewantoro, yeah, Ki Hajar Dewantoro. So also Ki Hajar Dewantoro, at that time he went to Europe, to Holland, and then he interacted with several also other educators, yeah, like the Montessori, yeah, Montessori. If you read about the and also Froebel, yeah, Froebel, Froebel, yeah, Frederick William Froebel, the is the founder of kindergarten. That is why when we study, it should be like game, meaning like play. So we are playing, so that when we are learning, we We are not tense, also we don't feel anxious. That is why when we are inventing teaching method, the innovators always try to find a way, a method which are pleasant, meaning which are fun, yeah. And the learners, the student, do not feel anxious or scared, feel like the scary because of the strict teachers or something like that. So trying to, because of the, yeah, so if we refer to the three giant educators, yeah, Froebel, yeah, so you could check in the gadget, yeah. Frederick Wilhelm Froebel, yeah, from Germany, I suppose. So the concept, the Froebel's concept is the play, yeah, the play or the game is the media for educating or for, yeah, teaching the children, for educating the children. Also Montessori, yeah, Montessori. So we should have like the freedom, yeah, freedom in learning. So like the Minister of our Education, Nadiem Makarim, was inspired by Ki Hajar Dewantara. Ki Hajar Dewantara was inspired by those educators from Europe. So Jiwa Merdeka, like the what Kampus Merdeka, meaning the freedom campus, Kampus Merdeka, the freedom campus or free campus, being autonomous. Also, we refer to Rabindranath Tagore, India, about the importance of culture in education. So those like the playing from Froebel, Montessori about being having freedom in learning, and what about the cultural aspects. Those 3 points inspires Ki Hajar Dewantara or other educators, yeah, to invent teaching method which are fun, gitu ya. Ya, jiwa merdeka, independent soul, ya. So learning should be free from like the interest, meaning the not being co-opted by, yeah, let's say like the power. So in practice, our campus should be autonomous, but in reality, they are still what restricted by many rules, or rules by the government. Okay, back to the meta-linguistic awareness, meaning so for the children do not have yet about such awareness, that is language is used for communication. Second, that language has rules. So only in the adult learners have the meta-linguistic awareness, meaning that the language is for communication, language has rules, so we should learn the rules and so on and so on. And then word knowledge, or we could say like the world view. Yeah. So in the table, it should be, yeah, you have like the what, check and the minus. Jadi apa namanya? The child is still pure, meaning they don't have experience like adults, yeah, with knowledge. Any knowledge you have got, what do you call? General knowledge you have got so far. So let's say in the reading scale, when we are when we are supposed to have reading passage, and then the teacher would like when we are teaching reading, so there are 3 steps. Yeah. So first, let's say we have the warming, yeah, the pre-reading or warming up, or just to break the ice, and then we have the while reading activity, then post reading activities. So usually when we are teaching reading comprehension or reading skills, so it will be divided into three steps: warming up or pre-reading. Let's say the passage is about what is it? Romeo and Juliet, yeah, about the love story. So prior to the reading, and then the teacher would like to ask some questions, just to what do you call to activate the students' knowledge, meaning the just prior the reading activities, trying to find out whether the learners, the students, have already knowledge about the topic, that is the love story, Romeo and Juliet. In our country, we have the like what Ponocitra Enora Mendut or Jayaprana Layonsari and so on. Yeah. So trying to delve or trying to activate or empower the students' knowledge, the prior knowledge gotten by you. Yeah. So what is the term for prior knowledge? Anyone? Anyone, please, about the prior knowledge? Starting with S.
But would you please say it again?
Sorry?
What was the question? Because I heard it like prior knowledge.
Yeah, prior knowledge. Yeah, it's called the schemata. Yeah, schemata.
Uh,
Schemata.
actually, I have no idea about that. Do you mean like when the teacher tries to give an
Yeah,
idea about the
schemata
topic that he
means your
wants to
general
introduce?
knowledge. You have got so far. You have accumulated so far from the child, from childhood up to now. It is called the schemata. Yeah, the scheme.
Yes, scheme. But do you mean by that when the teacher
Yeah.
tries to introduce some topic to the students, so he tries to talk
Uh,
about it like
yeah,
generally in the beginning of the session, so the students can relate later to the topic?
yeah, right. Yeah, good. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, I have no experience in teaching. That's why I don't participate actively,
yeah,
but I'm trying to find answer based on my experience as a learner myself because I learn. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So before reading and then trying to check whether the learners have got any such knowledge about the topic. So the teacher is trying to delve or yeah, to know more about the students' prior knowledge or the general
Yeah.
knowledge. That is called schemata. Yeah, the schemata. So trying to activate what they have known and then so the class will be more active rather than explain step by step or not one way but trying to interact with the learners by asking their knowledge about the topic learned in that session. Let's say like about Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, yeah, right. The trigger their mind knowledge, meaning to activate their prior knowledge, general knowledge you have got so far. So like you and I are us, so we have accumulated knowledge from childhood up to now. Yeah, yes, right. About make them more curious about the topic they are going to to be talking about. Yeah. Okay, any other comment?
Sir,
Yes.
hello. Sir, does it relate to the teaching and learning?
Sorry, Sarfaras.
Sir, does it relate to the method of teaching?
Yeah, I'm talking about I'm giving an instance about teaching reading skill in the class. So when you are teaching in the class, so it can be divided into 3 stages. One is called pre-reading activity, and then second while reading activity, and then post-reading activity. That is one of the
Yeah.
techniques or method in teaching reading. So that like by having the learners asking questions to the topic prior to the reading about trying to check their knowledge about the topic, meaning it will be relevant to the topic discussed in the class. So if someone knows about the topic or knows more deeply about the topic, so someone will be able to write or to talk more about the topic, right? On the other hand, if you are not familiar with the topic, so you don't have any experience, any knowledge about the topic, so you cannot talk much or you cannot write much about the topic. So in the higher level, like when you write a paper on a certain topic, and then you have to read a lot, more references, more journals, more books, and then you can discuss a lot. You can discuss in detail about the topic. That is what I mean in the schemata.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Any other comments on the?
Sir, may I ask a question?
Sorry.
Sir, may I ask a question? Sir, hello.
Hello, yeah.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Sorry, what did you say?
Sir, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Sir, it has been observed and noted, I personally observed that majority of the people who learn second language is if I am learning second language,
Okay, sorry.
English.
Or would you write down your questions on the?
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes,
now
yes.
raining heavily in my
Yes,
place, so it's quite noisy. Or
yes, sir.
you could write the question in WhatsApp group, please.
Yes, I am writing.
Yeah, in WhatsApp group, please. Yeah, okay, from Francisca, I suppose it's good. Well, I think the teacher must pay attention to this prior knowledge of schemata because it can be a model for the foundation in creating learning process with the students. Okay, good. I suppose. Okay, what is your question? I have seen number of learners have impact of first language on their second language, even though they learn L2 by LPT of efforts. A lot of why does it happen? First language always leaves impacts. Okay, so later you can for Sarfaras. So it is called the first language interference. First language interference have impact of first language on their second language. So there is a theory called contrastive analysis, CA. So you could find in the philosophy of second language acquisition. So it is called CA, contrastive analysis. So when you are learning second language, usually it is unavoidable to have first language interference. So the interference can be positive or can be negative. So you could check with the book entitled Philosophy of Second Language Acquisition by Mary Johnson, or Second Language Understanding by sorry, I forgot his name. So there are some articles concerning first language interference, or the theory is called contrastive analysis. Also, you have the CAH, the CAH meaning contrastive analysis hypothesis. So the assumption is if you study second language, let's say in my situation, so I learn my second language. My first language is Indonesian or Japanese, and then my second language is English. So of course there will be first language interference. So that is why we have the terms word Englishes, word Englishes. So I could say like there is a Japanese English, Indian English, Singaporean English, Mandarin English, and others. Yeah. because of the first language interference. So in the theory or in the hypothesis, the assumption is the similarities between first language and second language will make the learners easier to learn the second language. On the other hand, the differences between first and second language will make the learning more difficult. But actually, that hypothesis do not come true, meaning in some cases, because it turns out the mistakes made by the learners do not derive from the assumptions, meaning like, let's say like the similarities, and also we should be aware about some aspects do not exist in my first language. On the other hand, also let's say like Indonesian and English. So our language do not have tenses. It is called tenseless language. And then English have tenses. So there are some languages which are tenseless and some other languages which have tenses. So it turns out the mistakes uh, are not based on the assumptions, because what proved by some research done by the linguists or applied linguists concerning the theory of contrastive analysis, meaning you compare and contrast between the first language and second language you are learning. Okay, any other comments concerning the so that for your case, Sarfaras, so your first language is what is the Pakistani, right?
But
Yeah.
Sadaf and Sarfaraz's first language is Urdu, and the local language is Sindhi.
Sorry.
Their
Sorry.
first language, the language that's spoken in Pakistan, is
Yeah.
Urdu.
Urdu, I say.
Yes. And
The
they have a local language. The local language is called Sindhi language.
Hindi, I see. Yeah. Yeah. So I see that in India, meaning they have too many languages, local languages, right? How many languages do you know the local languages in India? And
No, but I'm trying to learn Hindi and Urdu. I'm still a
I
beginner.
see. Yeah.
Yes, I joined a class for Urdu and I just joined the class for Hindi, level 1 for both. So, yes,
Nice.
still learning like the basics.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, and also in my country, in Indonesia, so we have around 700 and more than 700 local languages. And then for
Yes,
India, so you have 1,500 languages, local languages. So it's quite complicated but we are fortunate because we could build one national language, that is the Indonesian. It used to be Malay language. But other countries like India, so they couldn't have one official language, but there should be three or at least three official languages beside English, and then you have like Urdu, you have Hindi and others, right? It's quite complicated.
Ya, Pak, luar biasa kalau di Indonesia itu
Yeah.
banyak bahasa, banyak sekali itu.
Iya,
Tapi
jadi
iya, kalau bahasa Jawa itu susah, Pak. Juga bisa.
so you have four in Japanese. We have four ranks, the four levels.
Iya, lapis-lapisan begitu.
Uh,
Seperti layers,
also
tingkat-tingkatan.
four levels. So I am a Japanese native speaker, so I could speak Ngoko, that is the rough language between friends, and then I could speak Kromo Madyo, yeah. So speaking to other people, and then Kromo Inggil, yeah. Kromo Inggil meaning the high Japanese, so you should speak Kromo Inggil or high Japanese to other people. And fourth is the Bakungan, meaning Japanese language spoken in the wayang, the puppet, or in the spoken in the palace or something like that, Bakungan. So I know from what performance, the art performance called ketoprak, traditional drama. So they use high Japanese, or we say bakungan, meaning the highest level, only spoken in the world of pewayangan or shadow puppet. Spoken by gods, by the noble people from the kingdom and so on. You know wayang puppet, the shadow
Iya, Pak.
puppet. Yeah.
Tentu.
Yeah, so it is
Puppet
called
show.
bakungan, yeah. But you know, my all children only speak rough language, meaning the first level, the rough Japanese. We say ngoko, so it's not polite if we use Japanese ngoko to other people. So my children always feel awkward when it used to be before the COVID every year, and the Idul Fitri, right? Yeah, Lebaran once a year. So
Yes.
we go home to Yogyakarta to my ancestors, and then my children, son and daughters, have to speak to elder people. So they feel awkward because if they speak Indonesian, they will be considered what do you call sombong,
Kurang
ya?
ajar.
Sombong, tidak sopan. But if they
Iya.
speak high Japanese, they will always make mistakes. Yeah, mistakes. So it's not nice to make mistakes before the other people. Ya, Pak Petso mudik going home, ya. Do you speak Japanese? And
Tidak, Pak. Sama sekali nggak bisa.
I
Ini
see.
kemarin waktu di Indonesia saya mencoba untuk
Iya.
belajar bahasa Jawa,
Iya.
tapi nggak bisa. Susah banget, Pak.
Iya. Yeah, monggo
Very difficult
sami-sami. Yeah,
actually.
sami-sami meaning you are welcome.
We
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
yes,
Monggo please ya, silakan please.
yes,
Ora
Imani,
apa-apa, it doesn't matter ya.
tidak apa-apa. Oh, yes,
Ya, mudik meaning going home ya.
yes, pulang ke
Going to
kampung.
your hometown ya.
Yes.
Every year, once a year. Okay, any other comment concerning the topic? So let me let me check your attendance. Only one is left ya. Hanya satu yang tidak bisa absen ya. Sadaf ya. Okay, next slide ya. Next slide. Freedom to be silent, ample time of contact, corrective feedback, grammar and pronunciation, corrective feedback, and what is it? What we have the term hidden syllabus. What does it mean? Hidden syllabus. Anyone knows? Hidden syllabus. Anyone would like to comment what is meant by hidden syllabus? Ample time and contact. Yeah. So there is the term hidden syllabus. Anyone would like to comment what is meant by hidden syllabus?
I think it's the kind of syllabus that is not written
Sorry?
down. The kind that is not written down, something like students can learn something like punctuality, but it's not like in the coursework.
Please write down, Stella. Coba. Write down on the.
Okay.
But Stella, she was just saying that hidden syllabus is the syllabus that are not written in the curriculum. We don't have it in the curriculum, but
Yeah.
the teacher tries to communicate it to the students, like strategies and the techniques the teacher uses to deliver the material to the students. They are not there in the curriculum, but
Yeah.
they are still try to communicate them to the students.
Yeah, and it is for children learning language. So when our child is learning language, so there is no limitation like us. Let's say like one session, 100 minutes, or syllabus. So it's called hidden syllabus, meaning Like here the ample time and contact, meaning the children are learning language for 24 hours. Yeah, the no limitation, no curriculum, no syllabus, no lesson plan, but and then they succeed in acquiring their first language in spite of having hidden syllabus, meaning not written actually. It is called hidden. So not limited by time. Like let's say we are studying in a week, how many hours? On a, let's say you stay in school 5 hours a day, and then for a week you have only 25 hours a week. But for children, there is no limitation. That is why it is called hidden syllabus. Yeah. So yeah, 1,000 hours, a lot of time for children. No, not like in the formal education. That is called the hidden syllabus. Or you can check in the internet. We have the school practice outcome that are not described in the program, which may achieve educational goals. And then corrective feedback. Yeah. So when our children make a mistake in pronunciation, or and then we will correct their pronunciation. The same way when we are learning English in the English department, so our lecturers will correct us, but it may happen that we as English teachers may make mistakes until we are retired or until the end of the world, because no one corrects us. So it may happen also even after being a teacher or being a lecturer. So you will make yeah, the same mistakes. No one corrects because no one corrects us. So let's say I used to make mistakes about pronunciation, two words. So pedang and apa itu, kabur, enggak jelas gitu ya. So I used to pronounce fake you, ya, the fake, ya. So I used to pronounce the first word not fake but fake you, and then for the second one, weapons, I pronounce sword. Actually, W should not be pronounced. So corrected by my British lecturer or long time ago. Even up to now, I still make mistakes uh, until I'm retired or until to the grave. Yeah. So I make mistakes, the same mistakes. So what I notice, even now they are lecturers or teachers, my former students, so they still pronounce words which are not appropriate. Let's say like examine, determine, language, and then best should be best, method should be method, something like that. Even after being a lecturer, so what we can do is always check with the internet, check with your gadget. So in my time in the 70s, so I only relied on, meaning I just have the knee capital ya, apa modal dengkul gitu ya. Modal dengkul, Mbak Erwina tahu ya, Mas Hakim ya. Meaning I have nothing to, not like now ya. So in my time when I was in the first year of my study in the English department, I just relied on writing down, jotting down any information from books ya, because I just there was no photocopy machines, and then also no money for buying new books. Also, I suppose they were not available in bookstores at that time. So just relying on borrowing from the library, and then at home I had to copy down or any important things in the from books. But now everything is available and the world is in your dalam genggaman ya, in your hand. The world ya, in your hand. So from your gadget you could check anything you want. Okay, any more comments? From Hakim, is what children learn from school apart from the academic curriculum in the classes. As when the break times in the school are vital part of the hidden curriculum. Okay. So actually in the precious time is outside the classroom. So you have to spend, let's say, like the reading or practicing your speaking. So apart from the classroom, meaning out of 24 hours, so you should spend your time how to practice your speaking or skill, listening to the radio or now watching TV. So yeah, whether you will be knowledgeable or not depending on your own hand. And I did the first adapts. Only one left. I already click for adapt. Yeah. Please check in the SIAP. I already checked. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome, Sadaf. Sadaf Solangi. Yeah. Okay, any more questions, comments? So if you don't have any questions, so I suppose we still have 10 minutes left. We could stop now, and starting next week, Erwina and Hakim will be in the first presenters, right?
Yes, sir.
Ya,
Yes, sir.
Mas Hakim sama Mbak Erwina ya.
Iya, Pak.
For chapter 1 about the from Brown's book. Yeah. Okay, so please prepare for your PowerPoints around 20 or 25, and then you can present the topic concerning the first topic, the first chapter. Yeah.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, would you mark the Sadaf's attendance? She has messaged in the group. I think she has not got her attendance.
Yeah, and for attendance or what is it? I did, Sir Faras.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for joining the class and see you next Monday, yeah. Next Friday for another subject. Yeah.
Inshallah, Pa. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.